Good evening, everybody. Once again, this is Mr. Heat with Cub Scout Pack 110, and today we are going to be working on an end knot or a stopper knot, and I will give you a clue which one we are going to be working on. We're going to be working on the figure of 8 knot. Da, 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 da. And what is a figure of 8 knot good for? A figure of 8 knot, and I recommend once again you pick up your Knots and How to Tie Them book from the Scout Shop. We are not going to be going through each one of these knots. Each one of these knots are awesome. I don't care who you are. If you walk around the playground and you start talking about how well you can tie a sheep shank, you are cool in my book. So, stopper knots. Stopper knots. Stopper knots are whenever we tie a knot, after we get that knot and it's going to take a load, or we're going to put tension on that knot is going to slip just a little bit as it tightens up. And for example, let's take one of the bowlines that we learned in another video. If we tie our bowline nice and really short, if we pull on that guy, it is possible that we will tighten our bowline to where this guy is dangerously and precariously close to just popping out and ruining our whole knot. So stopper knot prevents that. Stopper knot, think about my fist being a knot and the rest of our rope being on the outside of our knot. As we tighten that knot, it is possible that we tighten it up and it sits just fine. It's also possible that we tighten it up a little too much and that loop slips through. Bad knot, bad news. So, stopper knots, figure of 8 knot, let's go. Not a whole lot of fanciness to tying the figure of 8 knot. You literally take the rope and you turn it into an 8. So, easiest way to do it is to go ahead and take your rope, bend it or put a bite into it, come around the front, and back up through. That's it. Figure of 8 knot. We can do it fancy, I suppose. There's any number of ways that you can make that figure of 8 knot work. But the bottom line is you are making that rope look like a 8. So, one more time. Take your rope. Put a bite into it. Bite is the name of a bend in a rope. This is the standing part. It's the part that just stands there, does nothing. So, bend it back, come around the front, back up through, and you've got a figure of 8 knot. A figure of 8 knot is fantastic. You can take a large piece of rope, make a swing. So, figure of 8 knot, the idea is take a board, cut it to length, drill 2 holes in it, put the rope down through, put a figure of 8 knot in it, and pull tightly. So we'll say, actually let's say we'll make a swing. Put our rope through our board. Imagine it's a board. I realize it's not a real board. Put your rope down through. Now if I pull on this guy, he's just going to come right out. Come on down. Put a figure of 8 knot into our rope. Back up. Put it nice and tight. And as I pull on this rope, it'll actually tighten that rope up, tighten up that knot, and it'll keep him from coming through. Imagine 2 of them, swing set. You get the idea. Also, for those of you that might be putting together, as you walk through these videos, a knot board. Knot boards, you've seen these before with a whole bunch of knots on it. You can use the figure of 8 knot to keep your rope onto your knot board, so as you tie your knots, you can hang them on your board and it won't go anywhere. Figure of 8 knot. There you go.